Hey, what's happening, Mr. Kevin Iggens? It's Robert Plank, and you said that you've always wanted to write an instructional book for beginner bowlers and then have a more advanced bowling book, been bowling for 50 years, and have bowled a 300 game, picked up the 710 split, and have 700 series. Okay, well, I'm not sure what that is exactly, but we're going to make a note of it. So actually, like on the sort of on the subject of Kindle books about bowling, I bought a Kindle book about bowling maybe like 5, 6 years ago. I was headed to ours a mastermind group, and we were doing bowling stuff together, and I wanted to get a couple of like sort of the low hanging fruit, right? And so that's kind of, I'm going to make a note of that, like the low hanging fruit of bowling. Like, what are the top maybe like 5 to 10 things that I could improve, right? If I wasn't good at bowling, or I wanted to fix some things, and I remember there was something to do about like calibrating where the oil slick was on the, I don't know, on the ramp, I guess you'd call it, and doing like a certain number of steps and stuff like that. And so what we'll do is, and the big thing in this is to look at what the competitors are doing, right? We look at books, we look at, I want to narrow it down to Kindle books, and we want to see what's selling pretty well. Okay, so number one question is bowling worth going after? I can kind of go through here: 27 reviews, 51 reviews, how to pick up spares. And so what I can just see from a quick look at this is that the books about bowling generally sell pretty well. The books that go more specific, like bowling psychology, aren't selling. But I do like how there's lots of beginner stuff. That's a good sign. So we're going to open up a couple of these in a couple different tabs. And you mentioned this 710 thing, so we'll also see if it's actually, I don't even know what that is. So bowling 710. All right. So 710 split, you say this is? And okay. So it's like a really good shot. Okay, so if that is what that is, then I want to say 710 split. Whoops. And I guess that'll be one of the bullet points, even though, yeah, like no one even, so one question is, are people looking for this thing called the 710 split? For a 710 split. And we'll look at some of these competing books, right? And so the thing about looking at your competitors' books is, don't buy your competitors' stuff or copy them or anything like that. Just look at what their table of contents say. So we're talking about the setup, the shoes, terminology, score, release the ball, speed. So this is all awesome, and I'm guessing that this is like lots of little things to fix. I don't like how there's no grouping, right? But I like how, and I'll just type some of these in the other window, right? I like how we talk about like and actually what we'll do is we'll create a mind map here, and we show this in our Make a Product course, bowling book. And so we're just going to list 10 ideas. So we're going to list some stuff in the other window, and we're going to say that we want to talk about like the lanes, the setup, the terminology, and the bowling shoes and stuff like that, rules and keeping score of bowling, and see, we're seeing things like staying in shape and mental games. So I guess that's a good idea, is like staying in shape. The mental, oops, we don't want that on that end, so we want to get this, oops, if we can make this all right aligned. Okay, so staying in shape, and then the mental side of bowling. And we saw someone try to make a book just about that, but it didn't sell well. But I mean, that's a good thing to put near the end. And then maybe like I'm seeing like a little bit of like ball maintenance. So like how to choose a ball, right? Uh, if I should buy a ball, and then ball maintenance tenants. Okay. So we'll look at some other competitors here, and we'll close that tab. Something else I've been doing lately is I go and look at the reviews, right? So we see that there's the terminology again. They mention the terminology, scorekeeping, grip, equipment, techniques. So I like that idea of having the like equipment. Actually, we'll make it its own separate thing, right? Equipment, like techniques and exercises. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so we need three more since we said we're gonna get to 10. So we're looking around the rules. It's a manual. There's the basics. There's how to train yourself right from the beginning. And then we can also look at the bad reviews, right? Look at the 1 star and see what we need to make sure to have on here. So they don't like the grammar. Let's see. So they don't like that it's vague. Okay. Let's see what the 2 star reviews say. So they didn't like the editing, and we'll see the 3 star. Okay, same deal. Okay, so let me go back and look at the table of contents for this one. So the bowling absolute beginners thing, and scroll through and look at the table of contents. And again, this is kind of jammed together here. History of bowling, the setup, the ball, score. So the thing I liked about this is that it's in a more logical order, right? We go from the beginning to the more advanced stuff. So we don't really care about the history of bowling that much. We do care about the basics, the ball, the shoes, and the rules. So let me sort of look back at, so the lane set up the rules. Okay, so that's sort of what we were thinking. And then stance. I don't really care about sportsmanship. That just seems kind of like filler. Types of bowling. So I like the idea of that. And we said that staying in shape, and we'll kind of put stance in there. Say types of bowling, such as, I don't know, like cosmic bowling, etc. Bumper bowling, extreme bowling. Okay. So extreme, bumper, and then even like what's the deal with the league stuff, right? Join a bowling league. Okay. And yeah, competitive bowling. So then the equipment. So I like how they kind of put all the equipment in one thing. So gloves, shoes, ball, the how to choose a ball, right? So we'll say that well, that's sort of the equipment, right? So it's like gloves, shoes, ball, and maybe we'll put this before that. But the question we're going to want to ask ourselves in a couple of minutes is this a little too slow paced? Is this boring to talk about the equipment and then get into the ball stuff? But we'll get to that once we get to that part. But we're saying I don't really care about the control desk. So I like this part. There's the shots, there's the hand positions, and there's the physics. So this one gave us, right? So we have like the types of shots, and so basic shots and hand position, and the aiming, right? We can say we can say stance, shots, aiming, hands placement, or whatever they call it, right? And yeah, speed, angle, rotation. So then that'll be like the physics, right? The physics, and that is physics, speed, angle, rotation, and then so jokes, don't care about that. All right, so then we'll look at the last one, and again, we'll look at the reviews, and we'll see the critical reviews say that that the pictures are too small. So we want to have big pictures, and we want to have pictures that work in Kindle for us. And we can see that there's so I guess this book's made by a famous person. So we can say it's a game changer. So bringing the ball behind my back. So it's sort of like common mistakes, right? Common mistakes with stance, the wrong kind of ball. And so this is where it's starting to get somewhere. And this is kind of where now at this sort of point it becomes fun thinking about this, because now we can say common mistakes with the stance, with the ball, with the technique, with the arm movement, stuff like this. And so now this is sort of what this is sort of what can make it stand out, right? Because we can see that just from reading even a handful of these reviews, that a lot of people were dissatisfied when it was a lot of theory or when they couldn't sort of understand the pictures there. And we see someone's killing time, and so people like the specific stuff better. And so there we go. So that's what we're looking at that, and then we'll take a glance at the table of contents. And so we're kind of go and page through and look for the table of contents, a coaching. So if I were to have a complaint about this book, is that it looks like it's super slow paced, and if it's only those 5 chapters, it's kind of I don't know, kind of long-winded there. Okay, sort of here's my thinking is so what you should do is speak out the book with the theory in it, and then take one more pass and put in just one picture or diagram or something per chapter, right? And so that way we get the book out quickly, but we can also overcome people's complaint that a lot of this stuff is theory and stuff like that. And so, but yeah, I would definitely get the book out first, add the images later, and then we'll look at what we made in this mind map here. So I'll zoom out a little bit, and we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Awesome. So we have 10 here. And then according to the system that we teach inside of our course at makeaproduct.com, what we need to do is trim this down to 7, right? So we can say that I really like this idea of the common mistakes, but I don't want to reveal it too early because we don't want to confuse people. And then there's the mental side, the staying. So I'm going to combine the mental side and staying in shape, right? And so I'm going to say this is like the, let's see. So if we say like the staying in shape side, and the mental side. So we'll say this is like the health chapter. So the mental side. So now we need to do this twice more. So lanes. So I'm going to combine the lanes and the setup with the rules, right? So and we'll the bowling shoes are in the other one. So we'll say the rules keeping score. All right. And then so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we need to combine or remove one more. And we've got types of bowling. We've got equipment. So I would put the types of bowling because you could probably just narrow that down into a couple bullet points, right? Types of bowling, so a cosmic, competitive, and all that. All right, so that way we're not going to waste a whole chapter talking about the types of bowling. All right, so now that we have 7, now we need to make sure that these are in an order that either makes sense or is fun or something like that. So we talk about the lanes and the setup and the terminology. Okay, so this is what is the terminology of, or like, what basics do I need to know about bowling, right? And we talk about the lanes and the setup and all that. And then we can say, well, there's the equipment and there's a ball. So I think it'll be sort of interesting if we do things a little bit out of order. And we can say, how do I choose a ball? Should I buy a ball? And how do I take care of a ball? Okay, and then we have equipment, and then we rephrase this as what equipment do I need for bowling? And we can say there's that equipment there, and then what should I do to remain mentally and physically fit for bowling? And then we'll say like specific like weight, if there's some sort of like weight exercises, stance, and then the like mental attitude and visualization and stuff. So looking at this, we go from the basics, how to choose the ball, equipment, and then the mental game, and then that leads us to the techniques. So what techniques and exercises do I need to know to be a good bowler? And then the physics, right? So now that I have like now that they can do a couple of the, how about this? We'll put common mistakes first, right? So what common mistakes do bowlers make? And then we have that, and then finally sort of the advanced, like the advanced physics or something. So what advanced techniques can I use to up my bowling game? And then we have some ideas for there. So there is your outline for this bowling book, and then what we teach you inside Make a Product is to break this down each into why, what, how to, and what if. So what we and that would be better suited for you since you know more about bowling, right? You said that you have a 796 score in bowling, whatever that is. And so here we go, as we can say, what are the basics I need to know about bowling? And we can say, we can either fit these in, or we can say that. So for this one, for the what, we'll say, let's see, what are the terms, rules, and setup for bowling. And then we'll say, instead of the how-to on this one, we'll say, what are the types of bowling? What types of bowling exist? And then we'll say the lanes and setups. And so just like, what are the three most important things I need to know about bowling? And then now that we have those in there, so like, what actions do I take to play my first bowling game, or game of bowling, to play my first game, I guess. Okay, so what we like to do is we like to break these down and to speak each of these out for 2 minutes, and we show you that inside of Make a Product. And so that's what we would do for each of these sections, for each of these chapters. Break it down into this, and if something else fits in better, you can just kind of swap it out. But there's your bowling book right there, Mr. Kevin. So basics, choose a ball, equipment, mental and physical stuff, techniques and exercises to throw it better, common mistakes, and then advanced techniques once you master those basic moves. And so what you would do is use our Make a Product course and speak it out, get it transcribed, put it on Amazon, and that is the process that I just went through for you to flesh out the chapters of your book. Once you get it out there, then change the title of each chapter from a question to just a statement like the basics of bowling or choose a ball. That way someone can easily find it in the table of contents. So there you go, Kevin, bowling book from Robert Plank. And once you finish this, then some sort of title will come to you. Once you get this spoken out, you'll notice that you use a certain term over and over, or something like that, or there's a certain focus on the book, and that's how you will rename the book. So thanks for watching, Mr. Kevin. Robert Plank from MakeAProduct.com. There's your bowling book.